Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Sparkle with Jyoti. Hope you're doing absolutely great. Happy belated Diwali. And the entire season, festive season is over and everything is great. We had a good time. Really great, actually. I had such a good time here with my extended family and we had multiple events happening here. It was really great. But today, this is not the topic. Today, I want to discuss about whether I regret my decision of moving and living in Sweden last 8 years. It has been more than 8 years. I arrived in Sweden in Jan 2016, and it has been 8 years plus few months, of course. And so I want to explore this topic because there are so many people who are coming, a lot of new influx of immigrants and like people coming to Sweden, and they have so many questions. I get so many questions, tons of questions every day, whether it is right move for them to move to Sweden, whether they should accept the offer letter what they have received from Swedish companies, and what are the expenses, etc., etc. So I thought instead of answering visually, let me make a video and then answer all your questions. So if you're ready, then let's get started. But before that, please subscribe to the channel. That means the world to me. And now let's get started. First and foremost thing, what I would really urge you to do is that please plan. So if you are coming to Sweden, please ask yourself, are you coming here for long term or short term? Because this decision is going to completely change your future. Okay, when I came, YouTube was not that big. We didn't do much research and we just packed our bags and came because we had this need and this hunger to explore the world and experience different cultures around the world. But right now, everything is so trendy. The technology is high. You have all the information what you need at the tip of your fingers, and you can just Google and check. Tons of videos are available out there, so you definitely have access to much more information, and we didn't have that time. We didn't even think of doing so much of extensive research. Of course, we asked few things around here and there and we came, but right now that is the thing which you need to understand, because that is going to change your it is going to save you a lot of heartache, and you need to be clear from the beginning, because we had come to Sweden just for a short term. We never thought or imagined that we're going to live in Sweden last so many years. And we always thought that we'll come look around and explore, maybe let's say 1 or 2 years, and then go back. So living for such a long time was never in the plan, but things happen. What is meant to happen will always happen, right? So yes, so that brings me to the next thing, that if you, of course, I'm going to divide this into two things, because if you are coming from a short term, then I don't have much to talk. You can enjoy, you can have fun, like immerse yourself in the Swedish culture and experience the food, travel, do a lot of things and then go back. But if you're coming for a long term, then definitely there are different set of things which you need to consider, and it's very important that you consider and understand all these things in the beginning itself, so that you do not make mistakes and then waste your time and then realize that, oh, this country is not for me, right? And if you ask me whether I regret, yes or no, then of course there is no black and white. There is always reasons and different kind of situations happening, and so I cannot pinpoint and say that yes, I regret or I not. So let's explore and understand what are the factors involved in this decision making process, right? So start with financial topic, because financial side is, of course, that is the main reason which drives us and makes us travel and look for opportunities in different countries, and like move, right? So financially, you can say right now what I have seen in the last 8 years. When I came, Swedish krona was 8 plus. It was always like moving between 8 to 9 SEK, 8 to 9 rupees, like one SEK. But and the people who have come before us have seen better days. So they had seen like Swedish krona like 11 rupees also. But since I have come, it's stuck to like 8 to 9, and it always also has gone below 8 during COVID time. And that brings me to the topic like of Swedish economy. So COVID has really hit Sweden a lot. when Sweden was hit with a pandemic, everything was, I mean, of course, the whole world got affected, but in Sweden, nothing was shut down. So offices were open and schools were open and everything, but still everything was going online. So, a lot of like almost everybody was working from home. You could not travel or go to the offices, and the productivity definitely went down with this thing happening. And the lot of companies went bankrupt, a lot of layoffs are happening in the last few years. And before Sweden could recover from COVID, the war started between Ukraine and Russia, and that hit Sweden a lot. So these back to back incidents, you can say, has really hit Sweden, and the economy has gone down. The inflation has risen like anything, because in the last 30 years, Sweden has never seen such high inflation. So that is another factor to consider. Everything has become so expensive. People are getting laid off like anything, and a lot of companies have doing restructuring and they're realigning. And of course, AI has come, and AI also has affected so many jobs in Sweden, in the whole world, of course. But in compared to the other countries, Sweden is a very smaller country, right? It's just like such a less population, and it becomes very very difficult with less companies also. So it's hard for companies to employ, like, how many people they can employ, right? There are very few roles available, so it becomes like all these factors are responsible for Swedish economy to go down. And if you are thinking that I will go to Sweden and earn money and become rich, then that is not the case right now. The second thing is quality of life. Quality of life definitely is good, I might say, I must say. But you have to ask yourself, and that is the reason I come back to it again and again. You have to ask yourself, what do you want? And what are your dreams? What are your goals in life? And that is what is going to define whether, you should come to this country or not. Okay. So, as we are talking about financial aspect of living in Sweden, let me tell you upfront that if you have, let's say, in a family of four, like two kids or one kid, and a husband and wife or partners, if only one single person is working or having a job, then it's going to be really difficult for you to survive here in Sweden. And another layer to this is what kind of expenses you're having. Are you owning a house? Like, are you going to buy a house? Are you renting a house? That is very very important as well to consider, because if you're renting a house, then again it's ranging, the rent ranges anywhere between like let's say 10 to 12,000 up to 15-20,000 here in Sweden right now. If you're buying a house, then of course it has EMI factor to consider. And earlier the interest rate was only 2% in Sweden, which has gone up to 4 to 5% currently, which means in normal terms is that the one person's salary completely goes in EMI, paying EMI. Let's say 25,000, if you're getting salary, the entire amount is going in paying the EMI. And the other person's salary is used, if both of you are working, the other person's salary is going in maintaining other expenses in the house, like grocery and maybe school fees, or you have your kids might have some classes like extra classes, piano classes, swimming classes, etc. That doesn't come free. It comes at an expense. And then again, if you are thinking of traveling to a certain country, you're like in Europe, if you're planning to travel and visit, and course, in a year you will have one vacation, right? So if you travel to nearby countries in Europe, let's say Greece or Italy or Spain, then you are spending anywhere between 15 to 20,000 SEK for that trip of just 5 to 6 days. Believe me, we have done that. And that is how is the average expenses. Again, depends on what kind of hotel you're living, what kind of flights you're taking, what kind of places you're visiting. Are you traveling by road, or are you taking train, or all depends on that, of course. So that's subjective. I cannot say that it's going to cost you this much itself. Depends on what kind of travel you are going to indulge in, right? So, and on top of that, again, you're also traveling to your home country once in a year. Let's say you're Indian, then you will definitely visit India and meet your family. So considering all these expenses, now you can calculate like what kind of financial situation you can be in, what kind of savings you can have, what kind of investments you can do, right? So this is the financial part. And of course, I cannot make this video super long, so I'm going to try and give you just an overview and touch base on all the topics, and I cannot go extensively in that. But of course, we can talk in the future videos, and we can discuss many other things as well, right? But this is going to be an overview. So financial part is done. Now moving on to like housing. Also, I have already mentioned that this is a scene, and let's come back to me. Like when we are living in a first hand contract, right? So we have got this contract in 2019, and we are paying, let's say, 9,000 rent, which is pretty decent, you can say. And that is the difference between a second hand contract and first hand contract. If you're living in a second hand contract, the rent will be high. Living in If you're having a first hand contract, then definitely the rent will be less. Okay. Like personally, I like this kind of system, the first hand contract, because it's a long term contract. So until and unless you want to leave the place, nobody's going to kick you out of the house. You can stay in the house for long term, and you can pay lesser rent and instead of the EMI, and not have this long term decision. Okay, because you never know, things might change, life has become so unpredictable. Who knows, tomorrow we might have to go back to India, who knows. I have stopped thinking about that. And that brings me to the next topic of us, is that what are you losing if you are not deciding early on whether you're living in Sweden for long term or short term? Everything. Everything, let me tell you, because your kids schooling is determined by that, because you have to decide early on whether you want to put your kid in Swedish school or English school. Of course, there is a bilingual school where my daughter goes. So she doesn't go to a proper Swedish school, Svenska skola, but she goes to a bilingual school. So the communication language is English, but of course they follow Swedish curriculum. And so the Swedish language is introduced to them slowly, slowly. It's not like full on. So now she's in grade one. So they have started with like, you can say, intermediate, medium kind of Swedish, and then as they grow up, they will be in having much more Swedish lessons. And when they go to grade three, they are supposed to, like, the kids are supposed to give a national exam, which is in Swedish. So kind of from grade one, they start preparing the kids to answer the exam for grade three, right? This is how it is. So, but the thing is that if your child is going in English school and if they don't study Swedish, then after like here, how we have our board exams at 10th standard, here they have at grade 9. So after that, when they want to go to the next level, like college, university, etc., all the courses and all the degrees and everything is in Swedish. It's not in English. So then the kids will be faced only with two options. One is that they have to take a break, learn Swedish, master the language, and then move on to the next course or next education, what they want to do. Or else they have to move to some other English speaking country if they do not know Swedish. Hope you understand what I'm talking about. So this is a dilemma which a lot of parents face. And that is the reason I think you need to understand and decide in the beginning whether you really want to stay in Sweden for long term or short term. Because short term, then you don't have to think much. Like, let's say for example, if you're just coming for a certain project, or if you're just coming for a shorter time, like 1 year or 2 year, then you don't have to think much. Especially if your kids are very small, very young, then it's fine. But or if you don't have kids at all, then it's completely like perfect. But then if you have kids, or you come here and then you get kids, and then you are faced with all these things, because also waiting plays a huge role. That waiting is there for everything. There's a waiting queue for housing, there's a waiting queue for education in schools. Even for Swedish schools, if you want your child to go, there is 6 months of minimum waiting period for the child to get admission in the school. Okay, and then there are so many other factors to consider when it comes to kids. It's not like plain and simple when it comes to kids, right? There are so many factors, because it's a human being. It's the future of your kids. You need to think so many factors when it comes to kids, emotionally, physically, their mental health, everything, their growth, their personality development. There are so many things to take care of. I think I can speak about this in a completely different video. So the other things, which you have to think. And when it comes to again, moving on to the third part, it is the career, your personal growth, your personal career. What about that? Right? Because if you're from an IT background, things have changed over the past, you can say, couple of years, according to my observation. Earlier, it was very easy, and it was very easy to get job for the people who are in IT. But right now, with AI and other technology coming up, it is becoming difficult. So even you're from IT background, you'll have to take extra courses. You have to learn Swedish. You will have to have a driving license in order to get a job. Okay, it's not easy like before. And with the rising competition, of course, and so many people are already laid off in the last couple of years, and they are in the market. So the new people who are coming and looking for job, and the already laid off people who are in the system of not like unemployment, they are also looking for jobs. So the competition has become much more fierce than it was in the last few years what I have been here, right? Keep moving on the next. What about the growth? Because I think from the culture and background what we come, we always look for growth, always look for promotion and going ahead in your career. But that becomes almost impossible here because of so many other factors. But Swedish people prefer, or Swedish companies, let's say here, prefer the local people going ahead in management and the higher positions. So, of course, and it makes sense, I think, because like for example, if I'm an Indian and I meet an Indian, of course, I would support or be friends with or have much better relations with that, because we come from the same place, we speak the same language, we our mindset is same, right? So similar thing is happening with Swedish people in Sweden as well. So when it comes for people moving ahead in the career graph or position wise, they are preferring local people, like local Swedish people, and not the immigrants. Okay, and that is a fact. But if you want to move ahead in that, if you want to move ahead in your career, or you want to get promoted to a management or higher positions, then you have to completely integrate yourself in Swedish society. You have to learn the language, and not just learn the language, but you have to master the language. You have to be speaking Swedish completely, like fluently, and understand all kinds of dialects, all kinds of accents, because Swedish is not just Swedish. Different people have different accents. Different people coming from different regions have different accents. Like someone who's coming from Stockholm or Malmo will speak different Swedish from the person who is coming from Gothenburg. Okay, so keep that in mind. So learning Swedish again takes a lot many years, and understanding the culture, immersing in the Swedish society, making network, having a network, making connections, and all these things take a lot of time. So the settling period, what I feel in Sweden, is very very long. It is not that you just come and within a year or couple of years you get settled. No, half the thing, you by the time you understand the system and how to work around the system, already 4 to 5 years of your time has gone. And then when you have invested so much time, does it make sense for you to go back to India or from wherever you have come? That is a question you have to ask yourself, right? So these are the other things also to consider. So there are a lot of things to consider, and that is the reason I always urge when people ask me is that whether it's the right decision for them to move to Sweden. I always ask them, look within yourself, ask yourself, what is your purpose to move? Is it for long term, short term? It is for money. Is it for money, or is it for savings? Is it for having a better life? Is it for, you want to travel and experience life? Ask yourself for what reason you want to move abroad, or Sweden for that matter. So I think I have given an overview, and we have touched based upon these topics. Of course, if you go deep, there are so many things to consider. And as per my career, or as per my question, which was there in the first place, is whether I regret coming to Sweden and living in Sweden for so long. The answer has to be yes and no. Let's in short, of course, because our video is already becoming so long. So let me tell you in short that I believe that like whatever ambition I have, I'm basically a very ambitious person, and I'm a very career oriented woman, and I have been that from early childhood. And for me, it's very hard to stay in one place. I need to keep moving ahead. I need to learn new things. I need to climb the ladder of success, to say, so to say. And for me, you can say the career has been very, very slow. I was already a regional manager managing an entire city of Bangalore with 13 to 14 clinics and making a revenue of more than 2 crores, And for a person like me to come back in Sweden and living a slower life and starting again everything from zero, learning the language, understanding the culture, and then getting a job, and all these things have been very, very slow. So comparatively, if you compare, I am sure and I believe that if I would have been in India, I would have definitely started multiple companies, or I would have been a CEO of a international company. I would have definitely gone much more higher compared to the speed. What I have here in Sweden is very slow, and thankfully, I'm very grateful to my YouTube channel and the YouTube which I started. I think it has saved my life and introduced me to so many different opportunities here in Sweden. And also, I thank myself for being so extrovert and so social that I move around. I go around. I'm the first person to say hi. I'm the first person to smile. And I'm the first person to grab every opportunity I can get. That is me, and that is my personality. But everybody is not like that. So some people are introverts. It's hard for them to go and talk to Swedish people, or they don't have that confidence to go and talk in Swedish even though they are attending Swedish classes. So I can say that yes, career wise, of course, I'm not that happy. I could have done much, much, much better and become like earn a lot of or I could have earned a lot of money, and done much more professionally, you can say. Now comes to personally, of course, I am, you can say, yes, Sweden has been good to me, because I have nothing has come on a plate to me. I had to work for everything. I had to literally go down, like become go to the lowest phase of myself and then come up. My, like, personally, you can say my personal development has been very nice. I have been a very impatient and short tempered person, you can say, in India, but here I learned patience. I learned to be calm, especially after the birth of my daughter. I realized the importance of slowing down, of paying attention to my surroundings, of spending time with my family, my daughter, and so that part has been really nice for me, that I have been really spent got like I got the privilege to spend so much of quality time with my daughter, and we have a very special relationship right now. I'm not sure if this would have been the same case in India, because the lifestyle is quite hectic in India. And if I would have worked, I was already working like 14 to 15 hours in India, and that wouldn't have given me the opportunity to bond that much what I have been able to accomplish here in Sweden, right? So it has been like there are a lot of pros and cons, and of course we cannot say that yes or no. But I do have some regrets, definitely, career wise, professional wise. But personally, I think achieved a lot. I have reached to all of you. I've built an amazing community. I have connected to so many amazing people, and I have this group of people around me in the last 8 years who are there to support me, encourage me, and yeah, I mean, international level, I have reached on a higher stage. My mindset has grown. I've become much more mature, and I have realized also the importance of minimalism. I am completely now like not a materialistic person. Like as I was not materialistic before as well, but I was a little bit driven by money. But right now, I could say that I have changed a lot in so many aspects and in a good way. So that way, yes, definitely. And but I miss my family, and we have been apart from so long. We meet them once in a year, but that is also for a very short time, and there are so many things happening, which is a biggest regret. What I feel that I am not able to spend that much time with my family. My daughter is not able to spend that much time with my family, and they have seen her growing only in pictures and videos and whatever 1 or 2 months we spend in India, right? So, like, in conclusion, consider all these things, and if you still have questions, please comment under this video, and we can definitely, I will try my best to answer it as honestly and as authentically as possible. Also, you can connect to me on Jyoti in Sweden on Instagram, where like I make tons of videos on everyday basis. And yeah, so if you even have a personal situation, you can connect with me, and I will I will make sure that I be honest with you and give you a good reply, which will help you in your decision making process. So I hope you like this video, guys, and if you've liked it, please do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you in my next video. Till then, stay positive and stay happy. Bye bye, guys. Take care.